It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's the Brian and Ryan Show. Do. Woo! Yep, that's right. I'm Brian.
And I'm Ryan. And this is not the Brian and Ryan Show. We very much made sure that there would be no names in the title.
We had a long meeting that was like 7 hours. And we had a big, like, Katie Porter whiteboard. And we crossed names off until we came down to the Brian and Ryan Show. I know you like the Ryan and Brian Show, but that does not just roll off the tongue. And not only that, Brian comes before Ryan in the alphabet, and I'm older than you. So it's the Brian and Ryan fucking show.
Yeah, I'm very much think that we should just keep calling it the Geek Dad Report, which is something that I copyrighted.
This is why you have been fired as our PR manager. Anyway, it is the Geek Dad Brian and Ryan GDR presents Superman special. Is that okay? Is that a good title for you? You like that?
I don't know. I think we should let Jeff weigh in on that. How about that?
You know what? I'm over you. This show, we're in a minute, and I hate you already. Yes, as Ryan said, we have a very special guest. You guys might have noticed there's 3 of us on your screens tonight. 3 floating heads of knowledge here. We figured since we were going to have a Superman kind of centric episode with the premiere of Superman and Lois out and a lot of Superman news, we would give one very special little boy his time to shine on our show. He's been following us since the beginning of Geek Dad Report. He is one of our #1 fans. He was one of the first people to get the little diamond medal that says top fan on our Facebook page. And he might know more about Superman than me.
Possible.
Well, we figured he'd earned his spot and he wanted to come on the show. So we said, hey, you know what? We have 17 faithful people who would love to hear from Jeff tonight. So Jeff, take a bow, introduce yourself, do whatever you want to. It's your time to shine.
What's up? I am Jeff, and I'm the guy that does not watch the movie trailers on whenever you guys post movie trailers. I have to ask, is it good? Did it look good? Is that new Mortal Kombat as good as they're saying it looks? Because I just don't. I can't bring myself to watch them anymore. And this here is Batman.
Man, Batman! We bought Batman. Oh, is this like a BVS situation? Oh.
Yeah. Is that your Batman voice?
No.
Do a Batman voice.
Come on, dude, it's your time.
All right. All right, buddy.
All right, to the Bat Cave.
Bye.
Bye,
Night.
Batman.
Night, buddy. He'll sleep in that watch. He's gonna sleep in that costume.
I mean, listen, guys, I'm not gonna lie. When I get off the show, I'm gonna sleep in my Batman costume as well.
Yeah.
No.
I sleep naked, so.
Whoa! Wow. Can we start the show over again? What's happening? I don't know what just happened. God damn it, Ryan. You're the worst. Jeff was introducing himself and telling us all the things that he wants us to know, and you decided to be like, I sleep in the nude outside.
TMI, man. Come on.
I rewatched the first season of The Boys because I started watching the second season. I couldn't really remember for some reason, so maybe that's what I got in the back of my head, is the invisible guy.
The fact that the Invisible Man from The Boys is the thing you remember about that show is very disturbing.
No, because I'm rewatching. Don't be like this, Brian.
Listen, do not let anybody shove any C4 up your butt. It will end badly, I promise.
But yes, Jeff was introducing himself. He's been a great fan of the show. And I've known Jeff since at least middle school, wasn't it?
I was going to say, it had to be at least 6th grade. And I don't think you didn't go to Mount Pilchuck, did you?
No, I went to Seneca.
Oh. Okay, so 6th grade. But I mean, what's that? How long ago was that? It's been a while. It's a minute.
Did you say Mount Pilchuck? That sounds like a northern Canadian school where you lumberjack all day.
It's
Panthers, baby.
All right, we were the American Bulldogs, and it was the former high school of the town that we grew up in that was built in like World War II or something. We did have one gang in middle school. Remember, Jeff, when they're White Essence?
I don't remember that. I don't remember those years went bye.
You had a gang called White Essence.
There was the one kid that started wearing the white beater, and all the kids were like, oh, "Dude, we got like he's like a badass. We got a bad like he's gonna like." And, he smoked pot. And so then everybody thought that he was like, and then he told people that, he had a gun. So we're like, oh my God, this kid, this white kid, the white,
he's packing heat? Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, middle school, that's funny you say that because I was actually in eighth grade at that very school. I witnessed a friend of mine. I won't say his name, but Ryan probably knows who would know who it was. Lit up right there. We sat next to the windows and by the heater in class, and like all of a sudden I hear the sparking of this lighter, and he was right behind me. Lit it up and blew it out the window right there in the middle of class.
God.
Right there. 8th grade. I mean, I'm just like, what's that? What do you got there?
God. Was it a joint or a cigarette?
Mr. Hammer will let you get so.
It was Mr. Donnelly who taught there. It was his first and only year, and
Do we freeze?
Year.
Oh, there we go.
The last half of the school year, we watched Friday. He was college days, and he literally on.
Oh, am I losing everybody? Goddamn Skype.
I was like, "What's up?"
There we go.
And
sorry, well, everybody cut out for a second.
Yeah, he drew
Skype is the worst.
Right. He drew a bong and let everybody know how exactly you eat in 8th grade. And he was like, he didn't care. He was already canned and finished out the year. And it was still to this day probably the funnest class. I mean, nothing got done. I don't know how I even made it to 9th grade after that.
Hey, public school education at its finest, let me tell you. Oh, well. Well, I think we could probably reminisce all day long, but we got a lot of Superman stuff to talk about, which is actually funny. Since you guys are reminiscing, I should be able to reminisce. The first time I actually met Jeff was at a Man of Steel premiere, which is fortuitous for our programming. Back in the Watch, Play, Read days, I don't know how many of you even know what that is. A couple of you might know. That's actually how I started to work with Ryan. Was an old website, right? I guess we didn't really do multimedia stuff. We just kind of reviewed movies and wrote articles about shit. And Ryan lured me in with a pair of free tickets to go see Man of Steel premiere. And Jeff was literally sitting like 2 seats over from me, but I didn't know who he was. And then later, when we became friends through this show, I was like, I swear to God, I think we went to the movies together, and yeah, sure shit we had. So, look at that, man. We've been friends for like 9 years. Didn't even know it.
Yeah, that was the, I don't even remember, I think you guys had, I remember what it was. You guys you just put a picture of you in a Superman costume or something. And I happened to have a Superman costume for a toddler or something because I think I just found out I was going to be a dad. So I didn't even have any kids yet, but I had a Superman costume and I put it on my cat. And I sent that picture in on my cat. She's a big fluffy Persian cat with the flat face. And that got me, still she's out in the garage right now. She's still going. And I thanked her for getting me early Superman access a week early. So that's what it was.
I've rigged those contests so many times for the people that I knew. And that you could have put a costume on a turd. And I would have said, this was the greatest costume that was ever submitted. Jeff wins. And I did that so many times.
Okay, two things.
It was.
Well, two things. One, a Superman costume on a turd would have been incredible. You would have got so many clicks for Super Turd. And two, I can't believe you rigged these things. Do you have no journalistic integrity, you fucking hack?
He literally sent me a message and said, dude, like only 3 people or something have turned in pictures. Just put a Superman shirt on and send it. And I was like, no. That's too easy. I was like, let me think here. And then my cat just kind of strolled by. Meow.
Dude.
Oh, Buffy, come here.
I made myself freaking credentials for that contest. I had a Clark Kent Superman costume with Clark Kent credentials hanging on my neck. What the fuck is that, Crypto the dog? I put a lot of time and energy into that, and you told me that I won fair and square. Now you're telling me that the freaking fix was in all along.
The fix was in for people that I wanted the fix to be in for. So it was you and Jeff.
Clark Kent would not approve of this.
I don't.
Pa Kent would punch you in the face for this kind of dishonesty.
I have a whole storage unit in Utah that is full of so much movie stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
I didn't able to get. Like, remember when the interview was supposed to come out?
Yeah, it was funny.
And then the movie people were like, "Oh God, we got so much stuff for an interview, and this movie's not coming out. Do you want it?" And I was like, "Sure." Literally, like 8 giant boxes showed up on my doorstep like a couple days later, and I had like T-shirts in every size. I had water bottles that said the interview on it, and I had like backpacks that had like the interview like stuff, and I put it all in the storage unit.
Dude, I still have some of the Pacific Rim crap that you unloaded on me last time I saw you. That's how long it's been since I've seen you. Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And you have all my Game of Thrones books too, so I'm still waiting for them.
I do not have them. The bookshelf behind me has them. I don't know anything about this. I don't know what you speak of, Ryan.
Darn, I was trying to find the picture of my cat with the costume on. I thought I added it on here, but I guess I don't.
How do you like my book that I have, Ryan?
Nice. I'm just gonna rebuy the whole set. You can keep it.
Send me the bill. Do you want a set? I'll send you a set from Amazon. I keep luring you. I'm using them as bait to get you to move back here.
I'm trying.
Be like, do you want your Game of Thrones books back? You have to move back. All right, well, unless you want to talk more about Game of Thrones or how we all know each other somehow, I figure we can move along and start talking some Superman. What we're all here, what the people, and by the people I mean us, want to hear and talk about. Superman, the Man of Steel himself. One side note, if anybody else who loves this show would like to come on it, we've always said that we are a show for the people, and hopefully tonight, if Jeff doesn't fuck up too bad and ruin it for everybody else, we can show that we are in fact a show for the people. So, Jeff, no pressure, but there's at least 17 other people that are counting on you to do a good job tonight.
Well, that's all right. I should have probably started drinking something else besides water then.
No, we used to drink booze on the show, and it always ended up with a 3-hour show. We're like, all right, we gotta quit drinking. Anyway, all right, so I don't know. What do you guys want to start with first? You guys want to talk about Superman and Lois, the new show that premiered? Or do you guys want to talk about some of the news, the Superman news? I'll let you pick, Jeff, since you're our guest.
Let's do the news.
All right. So, as we said earlier, this is going to be kind of a Superman-centric show. I don't really think there was anything big that happened in the news world over the last month, I think. We're still in a pandemic. All the movies still are being like, I don't know. I guess the one thing that did happen that's not Superman is CBS All Access is launching to Paramount Plus, I think, in a couple days. And they announced that all their movie theater movies are coming to the streaming service 30 to 45 days after the theatrical release. So that's kind of cool.
But are you going to get Paramount Plus?
I already subscribed. I subscribed 2 days ago. I had a code for 50% off the first year. So I got Paramount Plus for $50 for a whole year. Ad free.
Yeah.
I don't. If I can just, where'd you get that deal at?
I found it on some website. They were like, Paramount Plus 50%. I'm like, I wonder if this code actually works. Fucking worked. So I got it for $50 for a whole year. Maybe, Ryan, if you kick me $20, I'll give you my code.
I might do that.
There's already so many streaming services. I feel like there's like 6 or 7 that I watch, and I just can't I just don't even want to think about. And it's gonna get so much more like worse. Like I'm surprised there's not more, honestly. But they're just gonna drop like. It's gonna be hard to keep up, but I know like as soon as like when I move from here to another place, I'm not getting cable. Like I'm done because I don't even watch it at all.
I don't watch it either.
We have the cable for at least for like sports.
Yeah, I mean,
Mariners. That's
we got an echo.
No, that's Mariner Games is. Mariner Games is the only reason I watch cable, and I can find streams of that just fine, or just they'll have something, I'm sure, if not before this season starts, at least next season, because I watch like baseball. That's all I watch is baseball. When baseball starts, I don't watch anything else but baseball. And Superman obviously now, but baseball.
Fun fact, you can actually stream Superman and Lois for free on the CW app if you have the CW app. God bless CW. And that's kind of the thing is I actually sat down and tried to make a list of any shows that I watch on cable because our deal with Comcast is up in the next couple of weeks, and so we were gonna I'm gonna keep cable. My wife loves cable. I mean, well, not really, but she watches like all the Blue Blood shows and all the like all the like ambulance shows and hospital shows, like what is it, Chicago PD, Chicago Fire, Chicago whatever. She likes them. She knows when they come on. She's used to watching them on cable, so I'm like, all right, we can keep cable. But I literally watch nothing. The Superman and Lois show is the first new thing I've watched on regular TV, and pretty much I don't even remember last time. I mean, The Flash last year, I used to watch all the CW shows, but it got so boring that I just waited till I went to Netflix and then watched them all on Netflix like a year later. So, I don't really watch much, but so we got a hold of Comcast and we're like, hey, what kind of deals do you got? Because I want a little bit faster speed internet, and I'm already paying for, I got Hulu, I've got Disney Plus, I've got HBO Max, I've got Paramount TV, I got Peacock. I get Peacock for free with Comcast, but you get the gist, right? Amazon Prime, Netflix, all these things. I got so many streaming services. There's more TV than I can actually watch. So we call up, and I explained to my wife, hey, listen, we can still get all your shows. So I kind of showed her how she can still watch all our shows on streaming. And so she was kind of warming up to the idea of getting rid of cable. We called Comcast, and I'm like, okay, how much is the internet that I need? Because we only have 2 options where I live, Comcast or CenturyLink, which is like 12 megabytes upload speed or download speed. Yeah, that's not gonna work. And so I have one option. So I call them. I'm like, okay, what's it gonna cost me to get 400 or 600 megabyte internet? They're like $100. I'm like, fuck, $100? I was like, well, how much is it if I get cable? $103. And I'm like, well, okay, fine. I guess I'm fucking getting the cable. This is how they get you.
I called Comcast like 6 months ago to cut the cord because I just don't, like you said, I don't, like now that you mention it, I really don't know any other show that I like record on the DVR and actually put effort into catching and watching, because I'm just fine. I'm so busy with 2 kids that I don't get around to it by the time the season's already done, and then it'll just be on Netflix in a month. Yep. And I was like, let's cut the cable, and they're like, okay, but if you do that, your internet's gonna spike up, and basically I would have saved $10 or something like that. And that's how they get you. And I was like, dude, how do you people sleep at night? Like, are you kidding me? Like, but when I move out of here, it's not coming with me. I'm going to tell them I don't care, because I do not watch it. And
you don't.
You guys get the same. Cause I had Comcast were sending me the stuff saying that they moved my plan. I only get like 1.5 terabytes or something a month.
Yeah.
And then they were saying like you have until like the end of March to like get adjusted to this new plan or something like that. Did you guys get anything?
Yeah, I just got mine because we're doing the same thing, and March is our expiration date. So we had like a promotional on our internet, which is bullshit because my normal internet is 150 megabytes, which is why sometimes the show freezes because Comcast, right? I upgraded to the 400 megabytes, and then they still throttle it back. It's just fucking drives me nuts, man. They're like, you can upgrade to 800. You can go up 1.2. I'm like, yeah, how much is that going to cost me? They purposely make these packages so that way you can't get rid of cable. Like, you just can't do it unless you live in an area that has like Google Fiber that you can get for $50.
That's what they did. That's what they did to me. Like, yeah, they were like, well, then your internet's going to go up. And I was just kind of like, explain that to me. What? Why? Like,
it's the bundle
the same internet, dude. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I was still trying to look for that picture of my cat with the
Well, I started saving some money. I mean, there's ways. I don't know how this turned into how to save money with Comcast conversation, but I got rid of I sent back my shitty router that they were renting me. I went and bought my own router, and I use that now, so I save money on that. I got rid of all my cable boxes except for my main one in my living room because I got the Roku and they have a Xfinity app that you can watch all the live channels and live shows on. So, I've tried to cut it down to the bare minimum, but it's just cable will never let us quit them ever. They're just like, you'll never quit. Tell you what, your cable is $1, but your internet is $150. God damn it!
Yeah.
You sons
Don't
of
worry, Skynet will come and it'll make everything all better.
Yeah, probably. And honestly, I wasn't going to subscribe to Paramount Plus. I wasn't going to do it. I've ignored CBS All Access forever. Usually, I'll have a friend that gets a 2-week trial period. I'll watch all the Star Trek shows and then cancel it because there's nothing else on there but Star Trek. And they're pretty good Star Trek shows, but that's it. Until two things happen. One, I already told you guys the movies are going to be released on there. So, like, I don't know how much longer our theaters are going to not really have movies. So, it's nice. It's as much as I love going to the movies, it has been nice to be able to watch some of this stuff at home. I think we're going to spend the $30 and get the new Disney movie with Raya and the Dragon this weekend. Raya and the Last Dragon. So, listen, if Black Widow ever drops on Disney Plus, I will pay the $50, whatever, and I will rent that movie. But so that's been nice. But it is nice to have be able to get some new movies occasionally. But the other reason is because the Halo TV show that was supposed to go on Showtime, which is practically the only reason why I've been carrying Showtime for years, waiting for this goddamn Halo show, has now been moved to Paramount TV. So I'm just like, all right, fine, fuck it, you got me. I'm canceling Showtime, but I'm getting Paramount.
Why is Showtime even around still?
I don't know, man. I thought they were going to roll it into. I thought they were going to roll it into Paramount TV, which they probably eventually will. They're going to want to charge you more like HBO Max does, which actually HBO Max is a pretty good service. But I'll tell you right now, hey, listen, Paramount TV, if you're listening, if you want us to subscribe to Paramount Plus, give us Zack Snyder's Justice League Part 2.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No. Yeah, for sure. And I owe you thanks, Brian, for getting me finally on the. It took the announcement of Justice League on HBO Max to if I finally took the leap and got HBO Max, and then I text you. I was like, they talk about this Titans show, so I started watching Titans, and I love that show.
It's a great show.
I love that show. It is awesome, and I have to pause it when the door opens and here comes like, Dad, can you do this, or can I have this? And like, I mean, sometimes like it's pretty violent for the kids, so like I have to be careful when I watched it and stuff to make sure I don't get any unexpected visitors. But yeah, I love that show. I think I have 2 more episodes and then I'm caught up, and I'm just like. I'm sucked in.
Yeah, they just started filming season 3, I believe. Have you checked out Doom Patrol yet?
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
No, I haven't. I like that episode though, and I love Brendan Fraser. Encino Man and I go way back, and I used to watch that movie constantly. So I've always anything Brendan Fraser does, I'm in. So
no Weeze in the juice.
But yeah, I said that the other night, and people look at me like, "What the hell is this guy talking about?" Like Encino Man, just.
We'll always get your Encino Man references here.
Had the Hawaiian shell necklace.
Oh my God, the puka shells. Did you remember when Pauly Shore was actually a thing? Oh my God, why did we like Pauly Shore? He's the worst.
Son-in-law. He had a good run there for a while. It's like some of the movies he did. God, I can't even think of them now. But yeah,
Son-in-law, Biodome, in the army now. Great movie.
When you say biodome, the first thing I think of is the when they fart and they smell it and tell each other what they ate. That's the first thing that pops in my head.
Dude, that was so gross. Oh man, Pauly Shore, the worst. But yeah, yeah, if you like Brendan Fraser, you're going to love. This is probably Doom Patrol is probably some of the best Brendan Fraser. Period.
Yes, very much so.
I like that episode of Titans that they were on. Like I did, obviously I saw when I went to watch it. The episode is called Doom Patrol, I think.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I really enjoyed it. So that one's, like I said, I think I got 2 more episodes left on season 2 of Titans, and then I'm just gonna roll into that one and start that one next. I'm looking forward to it. So.
Worth it.
All right.
So worth it.
Okay, so let's see. Let's start getting into more some Superman stuff here. Before we touched on that, Justice League, some more Justice League news updates stuff. We all talked about that they're going to be. I think we talked on the last episode, Ryan, that they scrapped the idea for 6 episodes. We're going to get 1 4-hour movie. They are going to have an intermission in it. They're going to release it in theaters. Apparently, there's also a black and white edition coming, which sure, why not? I'll watch it all. I don't give a shit. I can't wait. I can't wait for my ass to go completely numb because I am not. I'm going to have to wear an adult diaper because I ain't moving off that fucking couch. Let me tell you. 4 hours? I might just start it again once it's over. I can't.
And we all know Jeff hasn't seen the trailer yet, so it looks.
I have not. No, I won't. I'm always on the comments telling you know how hard it is to go into when I went into Infinity War and the only thing that I had seen was the picture of Spider-Man with the
Iron Spider
suit. The Iron Spider suit. That's all I saw. I'd stayed away from everything, and I went in there and it made it better. And I got a huge shout out to Jurassic World. Jurassic World was the movie that made me quit watching trailers. I had a buddy, my buddy Josh, would say, dude, why do you watch these trailers? Trust me. Like, he stopped watching them and was like, don't watch them. It makes it so much better. But I have to watch. They're right there. They're a click away. And we were sitting in the theater. I was sitting with him at the Cinerama and about to watch Avengers Age of Ultron, and the Jurassic World trailer came on, and it's like 3 minutes long.
Yeah,
it's the entire movie. It's the entire movie. And I was like, that was it. It was that moment. I was like, okay, I'm done. And it's not easy, but it makes it better. It does. It's hard. It's not easy for me to not watch the Justice League. But now I've got 3 weeks till it comes out. Yeah. So I'm in the home stretch.
Yeah, I mean, you're a man of your word, man. Me and Ryan have definitely tried to get you to watch trailers, and you hold out. I will say this: if you've seen the other Justice League movie that shall not be named, there's a lot of the same story beats in the trailer, so it's not going to come as a complete. I mean, I have a feeling this movie's going to be kind of the same movie to an extent as far as the story goes, but there's some epic. There's some good Superman stuff in there.
I got the 4K set up, so that's a day one buy. When it comes out, I'll have it 4K and cranked up as loud as I can get it. And
well, I believe if anybody's watched it, well, you haven't watched the trailer, but speaking of the trailers, if anybody's watched the trailer and is like, what is going on with the trailer? The problem is this whole movie was filmed in IMAX. So it doesn't I don't know the ratios. I think it's like a 1.3 something ratio for IMAX. It doesn't translate to like a YouTube screen. So on if you watch it on TV, it's going to be great. It'll be like if you have like widescreen, you get the black on the top and the bottom. It'll be completely gone. It will fill the entire screen of your widescreen TV, and that's the IMAX thing. So it's going to be awesome. I am so excited. A little bit of news that kind of put a damper on it a tiny bit is that Zack Snyder is very much on board that this is not going to. He's not going to be making a sequel. He'd love to, but it sounds like Warner Brothers has absolutely no interest in it. Now, that could change, obviously, if all of a sudden people just start flocking to HBO Max and they get like 50 million subscriptions because everybody watched Justice League. I'm sure there'll be a Justice League 2. But
Yeah.
that being said, he's kind of warning everybody that, listen, there's not going to be another one. He approached DC about doing a comic book, and they didn't want to do that either. And he decided that this movie was going to be his vision. He didn't give a crap about what happened afterwards, and this movie does end on a massive, massive cliffhanger. So
yeah, you can't do that to me, Zach. You can't do that. You feed me more. You can't do that. I can't sleep.
I'm going to give you a potential spoiler. I have no information, and he didn't say anything, kind of. But apparently the second movie was going to be mostly in the nightmare realm. So it was going to be an Injustice movie.
Oh, nice.
So we could have a scenario where at the end of this movie, the Joker kills Lois Lane, and that's the end of this movie.
Dude.
Would be awesome.
And hopefully, maybe if the Army of the Dead or whatever he's got coming out on Netflix, or maybe if that one's does really well or something. I feel like the critics always. I don't listen to like Rotten Tomatoes anymore. They're just. I mean, but maybe if this one does well, maybe we can get something. But I like Zack Snyder. I mean, I don't know if I want to say this on the record. I like
the Owl movie.
Sucker Punch.
Oh, I love Sucker Punch.
There, I said it.
Listen. If you want to talk about Sucker Punch, you just do it with a small caveat. Listen, the story in Sucker Punch wasn't great. It wasn't very well executed, but the movie visually is incredible. It is an incredible movie.
That's why I like it. I had it the first time I watched it. I saw it in IMAX, I believe. So I mean, the speakers. The music is great in that movie, and the story's kind of whatever, but I liked it, and my buddy makes fun of me. You like that Sucker Punch movie, and we watched
the director's
it. It was
cut?
terrible. I don't know. I don't know if I have. It's whatever one I've got, so I don't know if it's the director's cut. It's probably not, honestly.
If you like Sucker Punch, I would recommend checking out the director's cut. It's pretty good.
Okay.
But I like Zach. But I mean, sounds like we're not going to get the Injustice movie, which is kind of sucks. But like you said, have you watched the Army of the Dead trailer? How about you, Ryan? You guys watched that yet?
I haven't watched
one, right? That's the one where like it's a bank heist, but there's zombies or something.
Yeah, this
like
is
a casino or something.
Yeah, Jeff, I would recommend checking it out. I know you don't like trailers, but this is more of a teaser, and it doesn't tell any plot really for the most part. Just kind of gives you a little bit of imagery of what the movie's about. But yes, it's definitely it's like if Predator. It's like if the Predator team, Arnold Schwarzenegger's crack commandos, decided that instead of killing a predator, they were going to go rob a Vegas bank. A Vegas vault in the middle of like a zombie-infested Nevada.
Yeah, I'm sold. Like I'm already sold. That sounds. You just tell me that, and I'm good. Like I'll watch that for sure. Like that's what I'll be doing that.
Watching Dave Bautista swing over blackjack tables, firing a machine gun one-handed with shells going in slow motion. It's
nice.
I don't need anything else other than to know that.
And it's going to be Dolby Atmos, and it's 4K, and it's free on Netflix in May. So, I love all those things. That's great.
It's like the weekend before my birthday, so I'm gonna have to like, what are you doing for your birthday? Well, I'm gonna probably get as far away from everybody and sit there by myself. I might even headphone it with the Turtle Beaches and just to crank it up and just get sucked in, turn all the lights off, and like I'm just I want to see it like it.
Yeah,
it might sound lame, but
I like everything Zack Snyder does. I think visually he's a great storyteller. I know Batman v Superman isn't everybody's jam, but like I like what he does. I like how he plays with gods and myths and legends in his movies, and he I love the way he shoots and style. Cinematically, it's gorgeous. They all look great, and I'm a big fan of his. Speaking of Batman v Superman, actually, he is going to be apparently re-releasing a 4K version of that on HBO Max here soon. So I don't know if it's going to be available. He keeps teasing it's going to be available before Justice League drops. So because right now, if you go to HBO, you can only watch Man of Steel and Batman v Superman in HD, which lame-o. So anyway, look for that. Some last bit of casting news, unless anybody else got any other news they want to talk about. I know stuff has happened. I know WandaVision's about the end. We'll talk about that later. We'll also do a Justice League episode where we talk about the movie, but we're not going to talk about all that tonight. there was some Superman news that did drop here recently. So J.J. Abrams apparently is taking up the Superman mantle, and he wants to make a Superman movie. When Bad Robot went to Warner Brothers, and I think they signed like a $250 million deal to make movies there. A lot of the speculation and rumors were that he was going to. Part of the reason why I went to Warner Brothers because he wants to work in the DC universe. DC forever has tried to make their own universe the same way that Marvel has. And they haven't. I mean, I like what they've done for the most part, but it's definitely like if you compare it to what Marvel's done. I mean, what Marvel's done is just incredible, and I don't know if anybody will ever be able to replicate that again. Honestly, yeah, they won't. It's a feat that you can't even try. And so DC has kind of just been like, hey, we're gonna do a weird Joker movie, and we're gonna make some movies part of this Zack Snyder DCEU, and we're gonna make other movies that are just like in it, but maybe are they in it? Who knows? Who's to say, right? And I think it works for them. I think, DC has always had a really strong multiverse and a really strong, like, what if and kind of one-shot storyline of telling their comics. And I think it works for them for their movies and the way that they're doing it. But anyway, J.J. Abrams had written a script for a Superman movie a long time ago, so a lot of people really speculated that his big first project would be a Superman movie, and it was actually confirmed that he is doing a Superman movie. We don't know if he's directing it yet. We don't know if he's writing it yet, or writing it, well, we know he's not writing it. We don't know if he's directing it. We do know he's producing it. And it came out that apparently the thought for this, originally we had heard that it was going to be a Man of Steel follow-up, which got me and Jeff really, really excited because we're both huge Man of Steel fans. And we have been clamoring for a Man of Steel sequel forever because we may get into our favorite Superman as we continue this conversation, but we both really like Henry Cavill a lot, but it sounds like they might be going in a different direction. So there's not a lot of details, but the rumor is that they are going to be casting a black Superman, which, the internet, as it does, one side thought it was great, the other side was burning their Superman shirts and lighting their comics on fire because people are dumb. But I figured we could talk a little bit about that and kind of what that means maybe for the future, what we'd like to see, whether we'd like to see them maybe do a Clark Kent story or I don't know. I'm not familiar with the character. I know there has been a black Superman that it was he was actually not Kal-El. He was a different L, but he became Superman, I think, of Earth 2 maybe. So
I remember the name. I can't remember the name, but yeah, I've seen it a lot circulating now that they could have like Cavill and another guy portraying that version of Superman, which sounds awesome. I mean, yeah. I'll take that. That sounds good. I'm on board.
I think the universe is big enough for multiple Supermen in it. But let's talk about it for a second. I mean, if you guys, what would you like to see? Would you like to see them do a retelling of the Clark Kent story, or would you like to see them try and fit something into the universe that currently is, and maybe do the other? What was the other character's name?
I can't remember. I want to say it was like.
It's a Cavill.
I've seen it 100 times. It was it's something close to that. Yeah, look it up. But I saw Man of Steel 10 times in the theater. That's the closest I've ever got. I saw Jurassic Park, I think, 5 times when I was 12 or 13 when that came out. And that was the record up until Man of Steel. And I made myself, I saw it 3 times in 24 hours, I think, when it first came out. And so, like, I'd love to see Cavill, still doing it. But, I hope that it's not the Clark Kent Superman, and it's not like it's hard to like now, like if you say something like that, people might think like, oh, like you're racist or something. Yeah. Well, no, it's kind of why I would love to see people's reactions if they cast Black Panther 2 with like, Zac Efron or Ryan Gosling or one of these guys or something like that. The shit show that would occur, right? Yeah. And it's like, you can't. I hope that it's not Clark Kent, but if it is, I'll still go and try to.
Well, and I will say the one difference between those two characters is Clark Kent is an alien, so he's not tied. His race has nothing to do. His color of his skin has really nothing to do with his character in general. Where a character like Black Panther has to be black because of T'Challa's race is very much tied in with his character as who he is, right? I was listening to Fat Man on Batman, and they were talking one time about how if they could have a black Bruce Wayne, and they said, they couldn't do that because generational money is really only a white thing. So it'd be hard to make a Bruce Wayne be a black person. And so, you know, and I never really thought about something like that. But on the end, so it would be hard to make a Bruce Wayne a black man. But I do think with Superman, I wouldn't mind them retelling it with Clark. I'm with you. Me and Ryan have long talked that we don't always like we're not a big fan of just the gender swap or the race swap just to do it as a thing. We've always been much bigger into like create new characters, or, you know, like if you want to tell a black Superman story, you could easily tell a Man of Steel story, you know, a Steel story, or you could tell you could tell this new character that they have. But that being said, I would be fine with a black Clark Kent because like I said, he's an alien. He can be any color, period. But my thing is like, if they want to do it, I want them to actually do it, right? I want them to, if a black kid lands in Kansas and is adopted by two white people in a small hillbilly town in the middle of America, you know, what's that experience going to be like? I don't want them just to be like, oh, it's the same and he's the same Clark Kent. No, because he wouldn't be. He'd be a different Clark Kent because he has a different experience. And so if they want to tell that story, I'm all for it. But like, really tell that story. Like, give me the real story. Don't sugarcoat it. Now, this is being written by and I think they will. This is being written by I can't even say his name. It's Ta-Nehisi Coates. He I butchered it. I'm sorry. He started as a journalist, and he relaunched. He wanted to get into comic books, and he's actually like a real writer, right? And he wanted to do comic books, and so he helped relaunch the Black Panther line that they used a lot of in the Black Panther movies. So, you know, he's writing the Superman movie. Now, just because there's a black writer does not mean there's going to be a black character. Black people can clearly write anything they want to, but. You know, but from what he's done, it would make sense, especially if this is going to be a reboot with a black Superman. I know Michael B. Jordan wanted to be Superman for a long time, and a lot of people have kind of speculated that this is maybe the project that he was talking about. So I don't know. For me, I don't care. I don't care what color Superman is, as long as you tell an authentic story. To me, the important thing for me is that Superman is somebody who flew from a doomed planet, and this is his adopted planet, right? On that aspect, you could probably tell a really interesting story, you know, with a black super-powered kid growing up in Kansas. Not only is he an alien, you know, in some ways that's kind of the whole point of the whole thing, is like trying to learn how to fit in. I know Superman was originally created by a couple of Jewish guys who didn't feel like they were wanted in New York, and they were getting bullied, and they were like, what if we could be the ultimate person, what would it be? And that was Superman. You know, ultimately Superman is a story of immigration and story of being an outcast and trying to fit into a place that's not your own. So I think on that sense, I think you could really tell an interesting story with a black Clark Kent. But like I said, I really want them to, if they're going to do that, I want them to really do that. Like, tell us that story. Don't just have the exact same story and just, you know, cast Michael B. Jordan. Tell us the story of what would Michael B. Jordan's, you know, what would it be like to be the victim of racism and have to deal with that in a place that's predominantly white that maybe doesn't even accept you. And not only that, you have infinite power that you can do anything to anybody. How does that affect you, right? So I would love to see that story. I think that'd be a cool story.
I just don't want it to be an origin story.
Yeah.
I think we're at a point now in geek culture where you don't really have to tell that anymore because everybody knows.
Yeah.
Like, you don't do another Batman, and you don't have to explain. You just spend the first 30 minutes of Bruce Wayne's parents getting shot. Nobody gives a crap anymore. Everybody understands that. Bruce Wayne is what he is because his parents got shot. Batman is an alien that came from the planet, and he was raised in Kansas. I think that as long as the movie can just skip over all of the boring origin stuff, everybody knows how they got to where it is.
Well, I do agree with you, but but they'd have to, if they retold you know, a black Superman Clark Kent, I think you'd have to tell the origin story because that would really be that would not, I'm not gonna say it'd be the interesting part, but it would definitely be the most dramatic part. Like, it would be very much more. I mean, because ultimately, if you've got an adult black Superman, I mean, and he's Clark Kent, and you make him heroic and nice and everything like that. Clark, you know, like white Superman normally is. If it's the same character, just a different skin color, I think you're doing it a disservice. At that point, I think you're doing it just to kind of gimmick it, right? Don't just throw him in there and be like, oh, he's the same exact person. He just looks different. No. it would be a different experience, and I want to see that movie, right? So if you want to skip an origin story, we could easily do the other character, because we all know the Superman story. Here comes another Superman. So I think, to me, it'd be real interesting to see what they go with. I mean, I'm fine with either one. I just don't want them to shortchange it. Like, if you're going to go in, go in. Let's do this, right?
So who do you... I'm going to ask Jeff first. Jeff, who do you want?
What's up? The villain?
Yes.
God, I haven't even thought about that. I wouldn't mind someone new. I feel like they have so many villains that they can that are out there. Like, like
I don't think they've really done a Brainiac.
Just on Smallville.
Well, on the TV show, Krypton.
Metallo, like a good. He's got some good, so many options that I don't want to see the same. Like, and I like General Zod and all that stuff. Like, that's my favorite movie. When people say, "What's your favorite movie?" I tell them Superman 1 and 2, and they're like, "Well, which one? 1 or 2?" And I'm like, it's the same movie. Don't make me sit here and break it down. It's my favorite movie. You asked me the question. There's my answer.
I think we should redo. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry, my bad.
No, I was just thinking, like, with the new thing, like, like I'm old school, like, like if they're gonna go down the road of making like Clark Kent African American in the movie, like other movies, like the Joker with Joaquin Phoenix, when that was like announced and then like started coming out with trailers, I was like, why in the hell are they making this movie? I was not interested in it at all. I didn't watch the trailers still. Like, I saw, some pictures and, here and there, but I went into the theater expecting to hate this movie. I mean, I've got a Heath Ledger Joker tattoo on my arm. Like, I'm Team Heath, right? And I went and saw that movie, and it was incredible. I thought that movie was amazing. So I'm it kind of opened me up. Like, you know what? Tell a different side of the story, because I went outside the box and really enjoyed Joker. And then, I bring some more of that. Like, I'm all for it. Like I said, I'll have to watch it, no matter what. But yeah, if they want to step outside the box, I'll see what, that's just my only example I can think of is, like, the Joker. I expected to hate that movie, and I really, really liked it.
Brian?
Well, yeah, and just give me 1 second. And to your point about the Joker, I think the big thing is, as long as a movie's told earnestly and well, I don't think it matters, right? I mean, if you give us a good story, who cares? Who cares who we cast as what, right? Just tell me a good story, and I'm in, right? And that's the thing. Who would I like to see as a villain? I would like to see. Let's bring back the Superman 4 villain. Let's redo it. let's wind it up. Let's redo it now. Yeah, I'm with you. I'd like to see a Metallo. I mean, part of me would like to see a Mr. Milliplex, something weird. Yeah. But I mean, maybe not for the first. If he's rebooting the franchise, maybe not that. I don't know, Metallo. Like I said, that'd be a good one. I don't want to see. I don't want to see some of the weird. I mean, oh God, I don't want to see like the Parasite. I like Lex Luthor, but I don't want to see Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Shut up, Alexa.
Well, Darkseid is like the first one that comes to my mind, but like, if the new Justice League is going to tiptoe around the arrival of Darkseid and then you're going to tease me with that and then not give me a movie with Darkseid in it, like, like we're going to have beef, Zach. I would like to see Darkseid at least.
Well, and see, I think
somewhere.
That's the problem with Superman is he does have a villain problem, right? You either have Lex Luthor has no power, so then you end up with a Superman Returns problem, or you have an equal match, and then you end up with a Man of Steel, which I liked, but he's going to destroy Metropolis every movie, right? So it is definitely. I like to see them give me a weird Superman story, send him into space, do something different. We've seen so many incarnations of Superman fighting this person or that person. That's what I like about Zach trying to do Batman v Superman. He tried to give us something just a little bit different, and people just hated it, but. I don't know. I'd say a weird character. I think Metallo would be great. We haven't seen that one you said. I keep going that. I'd say Metallo or Brainiac are probably your two biggest Superman villains, especially Brainiac. If you really want to do a retelling, if you want to do a story with the other L, I can't remember his name, but we never did land on his name. We'll say other L. If you want to tell a story, and continue in the current universe, that'd be kind of cool. You could bring in the other L. You could bring in Brainiac as a main villain, and then you could find a way to bring in Kal-El. And you could bring in the Krypton heritage. You can retell stuff. You can give us an origin story without having to give us an origin story. So I think that'd be really cool if they want to do something like that. And we didn't mention yet. We don't spend too much time on this because I know we started talking about Superman and Lois, but. They cast a Supergirl. We got a new Supergirl officially in the DCEU, which is so weird because they keep continuing this DCEU story thing, but then they keep trying to do other things in it. So I'm not really sure. I mean, we got Michael Keaton as Batman going to be in the Flash movie, and Ben Affleck. So we've got, but they casted a Supergirl. I don't remember her name. She's from The Young and the Restless. She's a kind of a young upcoming actress. That also made some news because she's Latino, so a lot of people weren't happy with that either. To me, once again, I go back to the Superman. If we cast a black Superman, Kryptonians can be any race of any beings, any color, anything. So I don't really care, but it definitely makes it more interesting. So if the Latino Supergirl, I don't want to call her Latino Supergirl. If the new Supergirl is still cousins with Superman, and they bring in the new Superman and he's black, that does create a different family dynamic. So we'll see what happens with that whole thing. And so I don't know, I'm interested. That's why I tend to think this J.J. Abrams might end up being an Elseworld or Earth 2 type of thing. I think Warner Brothers is going to give us an Elseworld story that they could tie into the main storyline if they want to. I think they're going to lay the groundwork out, see what people think, because, I don't know. They want to make money like everybody else, and they don't want to deal with fan backlash, which they're going to deal with no matter what. So I say just make the movie you want to.
I'm interested for
go ahead.
Superman Red Sun. I just want to see Superman Red Sun in live action.
Yeah, like I said, Elseworlds. Give us these Elseworlds stories, man. I think they're great. There's a storyline that isn't great, but it'd be really cool as a movie. Emperor Joker, where the Joker tricks Mr. Mplixic. Is that his name? Mr. Mplixic tricks him into giving him his powers, and so the Joker recreates the world in the way he thinks it should be, and it's wild. It's a Superman story. It is a wild story, and I would love to see them take a chance and make a movie like that. It'd just be cool. I mean, give me something like you said, Joker. I didn't expect Joker. Just give me something different. I don't care.
Well, and I was thinking, I'm wondering. Well, I'm interested to see if they're going to, dye her hair. Like if this new Supergirl is going to be blonde, like I was saying, like if they dye her hair blonde or give her a wig and contacts, it's like a cosplay almost. Or if they're just gonna leave her with dark hair and stuff, which is fine. I wouldn't care either way. But I think that I'm interested to see if they're gonna do that. If they're gonna, and then there'll be babies out there whining, she's not blonde and blue eyes.
Listen, man, people lost their shit when Keanu Reeves played John Constantine because he wasn't British or blonde. I'm sure they're gonna lose their shit over a Latino Supergirl.
Yeah.
But apparently though they did they put out they were looking for a Latino actress to play Supergirl. So I'm guessing she's not going to dye her hair. This is clearly a different direction they want to take.
I hope she doesn't.
Yeah, I don't care. Like I said, once again, as long as the story's cool, I don't. The cool thing, and this is what I think fans need to get over sometimes over themselves, is we always have. I hate it when people say you're ruining my childhood. No, you're not. My childhood's there. All the comic books I read are still upstairs. All the movies I've seen so far. I love Henry Cavill, and if we never get another Henry Cavill movie, I can put on Man of Steel and watch it anytime I want to, right? Doesn't matter if they make 32 other Superman movies and they try something new every different time and you hate all of them, you can still always go back and watch Christopher Reeves, or you can watch, Henry Cavill, or you can watch even the shitty with Dean Cain. I mean, like, you can watch any of your favorite Supermen and they're all going to be there. So I say take chances. I say change up the characters. I say tell a new story, because honestly, I don't need to hear the same exact Kal-El story 24/7 all the time, redone every 10 years. Give me something new.
Yeah. Do something that's gonna get my kids interested.
Yeah.
Because our kid generation is different than how we grew up, and with the way that they consume all the media and what they acknowledge is, what engages them and stuff. So if they do a new Superman and they focus it on what a kid growing up in today's time period like. It's going to connect more to our kids' generation.
Yeah,
and
That's
that just
Superman.
over again.
Superman, the Superman and Lois show. Like again, I love Smallville, and I just got done recently watching another, going through another watch through of it, and as like the new one, like the fact that he has two sons, two boys. I have two boys. Like that aspect, it sucked me in right away. Like I could relate to it and stuff. And so like that dynamic between, him and the two boys and stuff I'm interested in seeing that, which, just because like, we're dads now, we've got kids. So like, we know how hard it can be. And it's, the older they get, the harder it's going to get. So, I hope it focuses more on that, because the thing with the CW shows like Arrow and Flash and all them that lost my interest was just too much love stories, too many love stories. Well, and it kind of sappy. It kind of got sappy.
Well, the first couple seasons on those shows are really tight. They tell a good story, and then they realize like, oh, we need to stretch 10 seasons, so let's start telling soap opera stories. First of all, I'd like to say, Jeff, for this being your first show, that was an excellent transition into Superman and Lois. I was looking for the opening. I was going to let Ryan talk about if there's anything he wanted to see in Superman, but he was moving on. So nice work. I like it. So real quick, heads up, we are going to talk about Superman and Lois, the new show on CW. We're going to mostly talk about the first episode since I haven't seen the second episode. But we are going to have some spoilers. So if you have not watched it, I highly recommend you go check it out. And then come back and listen to our little discussion here. So, yeah, to your point about this new Superman and Lois show, I didn't even watch it the first night he came on. I was kind of putting it off. I'm like, another CW show. I finished Arrow. I've pretty much given up on Flash. I still watch Legends of Tomorrow because it's kind of funny. But I was like, and honestly, I liked Supergirl, but I only got really through the first season, and it just never really brought me back. And so,
me too.
And I liked, I forget his last name. Tyler, was it Tyler
Hoechlin?
Yeah, I think that's right. Tyler Hoechlin. Well, we're going to say Hoechlin. Tyler, if you're watching our show, hey, thanks for being a fan. And two, sorry for butchering your name. But I like Tyler in the crossovers of the CW shows, but he was never really my favorite Superman. So I was like, So I was like, whatever. This airs. I'm like, I'll give it a whirl. And man, I was sucked in immediately. I really liked how they're telling, like we talked about earlier, a different Superman story. It's not what we saw in Lois and Clark, where they're married couple in Metropolis. It's not what we saw in Smallville, where he's still learning to be Superman. And it's not what we even saw with Supergirl, which was really more of a traditional kind of Superman comic book, Supergirl comic book storyline. This is like, hey, what happens when a guy is the savior of the world, but he's also got two kids who are growing up, and one of them hates him for the most part, and you have to deal with real life, and one of them or more of them may have superpowers. Spoiler alert, I'm thinking both of them are at some point, but
eventually, yeah.
But yeah, and one of them does have superpowers.
They got you caught up within 5 minutes.
Oh, that was a great intro.
They didn't waste any time getting you from Superman meeting Lois to having kids to the kids being how they are now. They didn't waste any, and they did it seamlessly, so that you didn't feel like you really missed out on the continuity too much.
Well, and Tyler Hoechlin or whatever, he, like, I every time I see him, I think, what is it, Road to Perdition, I think, with Tom Hanks that he was in, like, and he was, a little kid back then. That's what I think of when I see him, and it was just like, how he can't.
Oh my God, I forgot he was in that.
Huh?
I forgot he was in that. Oh shit.
I think he was. But I was like, is he like 5 years older than these guys that are playing his sons or something? Like, he's that old, and then
so he's only 30. They purposely casted a younger Superman than Lois. So the lady who plays Lois, I mean, she looks amazing, but I think she's 41, and he's like 30. And they did that purposely because I thought that was a great line in that show too, that they're like, God, Clark, you never age. You look the same as you did in high school. Right. And I thought that was kind of a cool, like, you need a Superman who doesn't age at all. And so I thought that was actually kind of a smart bit of casting, is that everyone else around him has gotten older, but he still looks really young because he is.
So what do you guys think about the super suit?
At first, I was like, "Is Master Chief invading Superman in Metropolis?" Like, what? I mean, listen. If I had any complaints about the show, it's probably I'm excited for the reveal of some form of Luthor being. My theory is it's either an alternate timeline or he's come back from the future. I think that there's a future where Superman has caused the destruction of Earth, and he went back in time to try and stop it. So, or it could be in multiple. Oh, did they talk about more in the second episode?
I don't know, Brian.
Yeah, Brian, I know you well enough to know. But anyway, I thought it was cool. I like that reveal. The suit itself to me was kind of corny. I was like, what is? I mean, I get what they were trying to do. I immediately thought this was a Luthor just because it kind of reminded me of Lex's like super suit. It just wasn't painted green and purple, which is the weirdest colors. I still don't know why they decided Lex would have a purple and green suit, but so that was a little corny. It looked exactly like the Doom Annihilation guy. Have you guys seen that video game?
It reminds me of Halo. That's what I think of it. But the Superman suit that he wears, like in the Supergirl one, I hated it. I thought it looked horrible.
With the bands and stuff.
Yeah, like Injustice kind of style. But the one he wears now, I like a whole lot better. And I think he's gonna get better. And the guy. I mean, if you're cast as Superman, I'm thinking the guy's probably, he's gonna be pumping iron throughout this. I mean, he's going to get bigger and bigger. I mean, that's what I would do. I would just keep trying to get bigger and bigger and fill it out and become better.
My only critique of his suit is because they went with the Henry Cavill suit, basically. It's a little version. It's kind of a version of that one. My only complaint, though, is they put a little too many muscles up top, and he's got kind of a smaller head. So the rest of the muscles throughout the suit look proportionate. But when he does this, it kind of V's and it makes his head look little. And I'm like, come on, man. What is this?
Yeah, his neck looks a little thin there.
Yeah, I thought it was almost like the Shazam suit from the Shazam movie.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, is he wearing the Shazam suit? Because just kind of like how it pops more, like the Shazam,
well, listen, I don't think you need to be like. I love Henry Cavill's ripped Superman when he's walking into the courthouse in BVS. He's just can barely put his arms down. He's ginormous. But ultimately, Superman really. I also kind of like the George Reeves and Christopher Reeves versions where you could just be a dude because your powers come from the sun. It doesn't come from lifting, pumping iron. So I would like to see them, Tyler, to your point, maybe Tyler puts on a little bit of weight and then they just kind of trim down the suit a little bit. He doesn't need to have a chest that's, this big. It just looks I like the suit. And ultimately, I thought the graphics and stuff look really good. I mean, they clearly spent a lot of money on this. I thought the special effects were pretty good for the most part. I liked how they shot it in a lot of warm tones. It gave it a different feel. It gave it more of a Zack Snyder feel to the Superman story. But yeah, I mean, I like the suit. I thought it was fine. I just that was probably that's how you can tell they're telling a really good story. Is that him fighting as Superman? That was the least interesting part of that pilot. I mean, it was cool to see him. I liked when he was breaking the sound barrier and he had the little rings and stuff when he was flying. I thought that was really cool. I liked how he fixed the nuclear stuff. I liked the homage to Action Comics where he had the old suit and he was lifting the green Volkswagen.
That was so sick.
And it was cool.
I did what was it from Superman the movie? I did the "Hey Jim," or what did he say? "Woo, that's a bad outfit." Yeah. I seriously, I said that watching it by myself outside. That's a bad outfit. It was so. When I saw that, I was just unfortunately, it was spoiled on social media for me. Someone posted the picture on Reddit.
I didn't see it. So
this is my new favorite. I saw it an hour before the episode aired, but it looked nice. That was pretty sweet. I liked that, and then but yeah, like you were saying, and I'll admit the lady who plays Lois, when I saw the pictures of, the promos and stuff like that, and he's kind of standing behind her, I felt like it was she looked like his mom, showing up to the school to talk to the principal because he was mean to her kid or something. Like she wanted to have a word with the principal, and I completely judged her. And in these 2 episodes, like I really really like her. Like I feel bad, like, but she's does a great job.
They feel like a real married couple.
They do, and that's what I was thinking. Like I completely judged her, and I think that she's kind of won me over. Like I'm really interested to see, how her character develops too, and she gets, probably a little more playtime in episode 2, and I'm excited to see that. And I was worried that it was going to focus more on Lois, but it's interesting. I'm interested enough to kind of see where it goes.
So I have a question for you. You guys have a lot more Superman knowledge than I do. So when it comes to the Superman children, did he always have one son that became Superboy, or did he have the twins that they have for the show?
No, the twins is a new thing. Superman didn't usually have kids until recently. I don't know if some of the older like Golden Era comics maybe he had a son, but pretty much recently he had the one son, Jonathan, who had superpowers. That kid kind of got famous because him and Damian Wayne ran off and they did their own little like super son thing. Yeah. But he didn't have, he's definitely an underpowered version of Superman, and he kind of becomes Superboy. But they had him. The 2 sons, I don't believe they've ever done the twins, and I kind of like that. I really like the twin. I knew that he was going to be the one with powers. I mean, they kind of telegraphed it right from the beginning when they're like, we think the one who's good at everything has powers, and I'm like, nah, it's going to be the other one. But I also kind of liked how they gave him, he is what is it? It's is he bipolar or he's manic depressive? He is,
social anxiety disorder.
His social anxiety. Yeah. I like that the kids felt real. They felt like real kids dealing with real shit in life, right? And but no, I mean, that's kind of, to your point though, that's kind of what I like about this. This is a new story. I've never seen anything like this. We've seen Superman and Lois play husband and wife, but like I said, this show actually felt like they were married. Just little touches when Lois is trying to get her food out of the vending machine, she can't get it. Clark just kind of pulls it forward a little bit for her, and puts it back. And just the discussions they have about moving to Smallville, and like they felt like a real married couple. Those 2 have great chemistry together, and it felt like a real family dynamic. I mean, I can't even tell you how many times my kids have told me they hate me and storm off because I wouldn't let them watch TV, right? And I also loved like when they found out he was Superman, they weren't like, "Oh, Dad, we forgive you for everything. Oh, this is cool." No, they were pissed, right? That's what I like about this show is it seems like this show is the writers are trying to dig into something a little bit deeper, and I think that's cool. What's it like to have your dad as Superman and you possibly have powers, but you also you feel awkward. You can't. Even they keep averting the tropes, the normal tropes, like the cute girl who takes an interest in the nerdy boy who doesn't have any friends, the geeky, and then he kisses her, he goes in for his moment, and she's got a boyfriend, and he gets his ass kicked, right? I mean, I did not see that coming. I was like, oh, this is cool. I mean, I knew his powers were going to show up at that moment, but and like I said, I think both kids are going to eventually get powers, if the show carries on for multiple seasons, but yeah, I just really liked that they're trying to tell a new story, and I think they're honestly trying to tell it, and I think everybody involved in it is buying into this new story. And especially with the kids, a lot of times you watch these shows and the kids are so goddamn obnoxious. Like the actors they get for them are just like, I don't care about these kids at all. By the end of the show, by the end of the pilot, I really was as interested in Superman and Lois. I was just as interested in their kids and what was going to happen.
And not many shows get renewed after one episode airs.
A little bit of news.
That was
season 2.
pretty. That kind of came out of left field. I didn't see that coming, but it makes me think that they've got some good stuff, like lined up down the road, and some good stories. And I like you said something about the special effects. That's one of the first things I noticed is for a TV show, special effects look pretty good. Like they look kind of nice, like when he's flying around and stuff. But I don't see why we can't get the yellow S on the cape. Just put the yellow S. It's something to do. I remember Man of Steel. They said something. It just didn't look like when he was flying or something like that.
I think it has to do with the special effects now. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just can we get the yellow S for like an episode or 2 or something, like? And it's just that's an OCD thing that I have, and But yeah, I'm sucked into the show for sure.
I do like the brother dynamic, and I do. Brian will see once he watches episode 2, but they do develop that brotherhood story, and I like where they're going with it. And it, I don't want to say anything that gives away, but
don't spoil it for me. I'll watch it.
The story that they seem like they're developing for the brothers, I think it's a good direction to take it. And maybe the one brother or both brothers, they can get the yellow S's. So,
Well, as far as the money on the show, kind of go back to that for a second. I think so. The rumor is that HBO actually is partnering up with CW on this one because this show is going to be going to HBO. It's the first CW show that's going to air exclusively on HBO Max. So it sounds like they're trying to put a little money into it so they can kind of double dip a little bit and get their own series going, which is good. Which is good news for us. But as far as I can do without the yellow S, but what I need is the Brown and Routh boots that had the Superman in the logo in the tread. I mean, that's where it's at. Let's be real here. No, but I also, one of the things I also kind of liked about the show too is it. I liked the small town versus big town politics they got into it. We have enough politics in our lives; we don't necessarily need more. But I also liked how they kind of addressed the elephant in the room. Like small towns are dying, and they look at something differently than people who come from a big town and look at things differently. Neither one of them are wrong, and yet they're both right? And I kind of like that dynamic of the Smallville politics too, which I thought was kind of cool.
I think the fire chief is going to become he's going to get some kind of power somehow.
He is a little he's a little over the top kind of.
Yeah. Lana Lang's husband or whatever is that guy? Yeah, you can already tell he's kind of like an a-hole. He came on a little strong with the a-holeness, but I did like the Joker. Like, oh, isn't that the guy you got mad at because mommy used to date him and she was looking at his Facebook page? Yeah. I'm like, okay, there's a few people who got punched by their wives when they're watching the show together. But so I don't know. You guys got anything else? I mean, overall, I'm super excited about this. This is probably the most excited I've been about a new superhero show in a while. At least on I'm excited about The Boys and stuff like that. But like a new, classic superhero, a retelling kind of new story. But I don't know. I'm in. I'm gonna watch it. I'm actually kind of hoping they do a 13 or 16 episode season and not your normal 22. I think that's where a lot of these shows go wrong, is you try and stretch it out to 100 episodes over 3 seasons, and it doesn't work as well.
I think the streaming format has shown that if you take shows like Queen's Gambit or stuff like that, you don't need to do 24 episodes of a show to get a great story out there. You can do 6, 8, 10, 12 at the most, but you don't have to do 24 anymore.
No, absolutely not. All right, so anything else on the show? I think we about covered it. I think we're all in agreement. It's good.
I want to see General Lane. I'm betting he's gonna turn. That's all I'm.
Okay. I do have one small thing about General Lane. I like General Lane. I like the casting. I remember him from Nip Tuck. He's a good actor. My one problem is he the only person is he like the Superman liaison? Usually generals aren't just like hanging out and going from scene to scene doing shit. Where's his support staff? Like, what is happening? Get him him an assistant.
He's at the Department of Defense, and then 5 minutes later he's in Smallville. You're telling me that they have a Department of Defense like in Smallville, Kansas? He's down the road.
I can deal with leaps of logic as long as the show's good, but come on, man. Just like I said, give us some reason. And give us a better Superman beeper than that little what was that silver box? It's like a robot pager from the 80s.
It looks like a bomb thing.
Yeah. I mean, come on. They missed an opportunity to give us the classic Jimmy Olsen watch. Have him have his own cool little beep, little super watch or something. But all right, well, I think that about concludes our conversation. We're about an hour and 15 minutes, so I think we should probably get out of here in a second. But before we leave, I think it'd be fun to give a quick ranking of what do you guys want to do? Do you want to do our favorites? Rank our Superman movies, or do you want to rank our favorite Supermen?
So do the Supermen first, and then the movies.
Well, I think if you go Superman, you're probably going to do the movies kind of with it. Like, if your favorite Superman is Christopher Reeves, then clearly your favorite Superman movie is probably one or two. What do you say, Ryan?
Supermans.
All right, Supermans. Ryan, you can go first.
Oh, God. So are we starting from one?
So what is your, or do you need time to think about it? Because I'm sure me and Jeff can just rattle them off. What do you want?
I can give it to you. So I'll start with my third. Well, I'll do my top three. So I'll start. My number 3 Superman is going to be oh my God, now I can't. I'm totally blanking on his name now. I was literally just thinking about
Name the movie.
The one before him was
Brandon Routh.
Yes. Yeah. I put him. Wait, no. God. Dean Cain, number 3.
Get out. This podcast is over. Fuck you. You know what? You have. I retract it. You have been disqualified. From Dean Cain is my bottom Superman. I hate Dean Cain.
Yeah.
He's the fucking worst. Okay, give me your other 2 shit shows because I just can't even talk to you right now.
I knew you were gonna say that. That's why I did it.
You son of a bitch. Are my strings that easy to pull? You asshole.
Come on. All
right.
Superman and Lois.
But technically, he was right before Cavill, just real close there on that timeline too.
Oh,
right,
God.
no, the guy right before Cavill. Oh, Dean Cain.
Dean Cain. I don't even want to do this anymore. I want to go take a shower and brush my teeth because I feel violated from this.
I have to burn this shirt now.
I'm going to burn this podcast.
I have to burn it now.
God, you know how much editing is going to do for me to cut you completely out of this podcast, Ryan? I'm going to replace you with a sock puppet. All right, well, give me your top 2 Supermen so we can ignore you and move on.
Henry Cavill, Christopher Reeve.
All right, I mean, that's kind of the consensus, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, what about you, Jeff? Let's give us your top Superman.
I mean, number one's I'll just start with one because it's the same thing as Ryan. Christopher Reeve is always going to be number 1. I don't know if anyone's ever going to, trump that, but I think I gotta put Cavill at 2 as well. Just because, I think I want to see so much more with him. I don't want it to be over, but if it was, I think he'd still be my number 2 Superman. But I think 3 for me would probably be Tom Welling. Even though he was I hear he didn't want to he doesn't want to wear the suit and he had a problem with it, and he's kind of I think he's kind of stepped back a little bit from it. I think he's a director or producer now or something like that. And I think he's kind of trying to grow out of it almost. But yeah, like I said, I just rewatched Smallville recently, and he is good. If Cavill wasn't just so damn handsome and so good, Welling would probably be number 2 on my list. But yeah, I'd say Tom Welling's 3, Cavill, and then Christopher Reeve.
All right. I'll go. Our list is pretty close, so I'll give a long list. I'll make it fast though. Number 1 for me is Christopher Reeves. I mean, he is Superman. I mean, when you close your eyes and think of Superman, it's Christopher Reeves. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, those movies aren't the best movies at points, but he embodies what Superman has always meant to me growing up, and that's Superman. 2, Henry Cavill is, if you need a Superman to punch you in the face, that dude is your man. He is. You need an emoting angry Superman to laser beam your fucking eyeballs out. You call Henry Cavill. But I also do I think
when he comes out of the water in Man of Steel without his shirt on, the first thing that crosses my mind is I need to get my ass in the gym tomorrow. I gotta go. Jesus.
He is insanely huge. And you know what? He does give us one of the best moments when he puts all those logs through that trucker's truck. That's so great. Yeah. But no, I really like him. And I do think that if he would have got a chance to Man of Steel 2, where he isn't already dead and having to deal with Zod and can actually just enjoy the character a little bit, I think we would have got Henry Cavill's just a damn charming individual. So I think he would have been, I think he would have become more in line with the Christopher Reeves version of Superman had he got a chance to just have fun in a movie and not be so, have to always be so angry at the world and wondering what's happening. So number 3 for me is probably, I'm going to go with Tom Welling. I should have known you were going to pick that. That was kind of my surprise pick too. When I watched the Infinite Crisis on the CW shows they did a little while ago where they had all the different Supermen, I loved Brandon Routh's Kingdom Come Superman. I thought that was great. But when Tom Welling showed back up and he gave up his powers, I'm just like, God, I still love this dude. He totally is Clark Kent, and he's like ginormous. And I don't know. Tom Welling is charming as hell. And he was a great early year Superman, and I don't know. I mean, he put on the worst suit at the end of that for like half a second at the end of that show. But I also love his Lois. She's probably still my favorite Lois. But yeah, she's great. But that's number 3. And then quickly, I'd probably go number 4. I'd probably go Brandon Routh. That movie's not good, but I really enjoyed him. I enjoyed his caricature of not caricature, his homage to Christopher Reeves. But I thought he was good. And then
Clark Kent, his Clark Kent was amazing. Like I feel like he did better at Clark Kent than he did necessarily at Superman.
Yeah.
But watching that movie, like he reminds me of Christopher Reeve with the clumsiness and just kind of stumbling over his own words and stuff like that. Yeah. But I thought he was a better Clark Kent.
No, he was great. And then I'd probably put Tyler. Tyler's moving up the ranks, though. If he keeps putting in more stuff like I saw in that first pilot, I can move him up a little bit. But put Tyler, and then I'll probably put, I don't know, we'll go with George Reeves. We'll put George Reeves. And then I'm going to put the little kid I saw down the street in the Superman costume. And then I'm going to put that turd with the Superman costume on it. And then 10 spots lower, I'm going to put Dean Cain. Because he fucking sucks. 18 Cain. Anyway, Lois is great in that. Clark, not so much. But all right, well there you go. There's our rankings. Anything else? What do you got, Ryan?
I got a quick question on Smallville.
Yes.
Back in the day when it was on, I gave up after season like 2 or 3 because it was becoming like the freak of the week kind of stuff.
This is why you like
and
Dean
I would
Cain.
just kind of get.
Oh, did you freeze? There you go. You're back.
Like season 5 or something, or
yeah,
okay.
It does. It gets pretty good after 5, like season 5 and 6. Yeah,
I gave up on like after the first couple of seasons, and I never got back into it. But yeah, I'm willing to make a commitment.
It refines its footing at like season 4 or 5, and then the last few seasons are actually really good, especially once he moves to Metropolis. I mean, it gets a little silly when he's just the Blur. It's like, come on, man, you're like 35. Put on the suit. But whatever. But all right, well, guys.
I was the opposite with Smallville, though. I was sorry, real quick though. I didn't start watching Smallville like first episode when it was on. I didn't watch it till like season 2. I think about 3 or 4 episodes into season 2. I actually was, I think we had to be in high school, I think, when it started, or just after high school, I think. Like, Christopher Reeves Superman. I'm not watching your teeny upper 90210 Superman show. And I remember people telling me like, didn't know it. It's good. You should watch it. And when I watch it again, like I know which episode it was. It's season 2, like 3 or 4. And then I got hooked. When I remember like when his dad, dies. Well, it's not a spoiler. I'm bawling watching it, just crying, and I think I had an apartment by myself. I'm just watching by myself, just bawling my eyes out. And
was it a Luke?
So,
was it a Luke Duke?
Yeah. I mean, and I knew, you know what's coming, but I mean, I was like, I went from I'm not gonna watch that crap to like, oh god, he's got the suit. Oh my god,
it's good. They even tried to spawn Justice League. I even like the Green Arrow on that. I thought it was good.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, guys. Well, I think that's about it. I think that wraps it up for our show. So unless anybody else has got anything to say, no. All right. Well. On behalf of me and Ryan, thank you, Jeff, for joining us. It has been a pleasure. You're welcome to come back anytime you like.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys.
And if anybody would like to be on the show, just send us an email or a telegram or a raven, and we'll see what we can do. So
look for my owl. Just look for my owl, guys. Sorry, I watched Harry Potter yesterday.
Dude, Harry, don't even get me started. We'll have another hour and a half podcast. I love me some Potter. All right, well, on behalf of everybody on the Geek Dad Reports, thanks for watching, and until next time, everyone, stay awesome.
And stay nerdy. And Jeff, insert your catchphrase here.
What's your catchphrase?
Oh, I don't have a catchphrase. Sorry, guys. I didn't think about that. Sorry. My catchphrase is go to bed, Ryan.
There we go. All right, on that note, everyone, until next time, we'll see you later.
Later.